In this video demonstration, we're going to show how to use the new Touch7 Neon Color Guide system. This is a 4 swatchbook color guide system that's been printed by Ricoh. So it's printed under license on a Ricoh machine. It's printed to FOGRA 51 printed standards. And there are 4 color guides inside this kit, 2 for the neon pink and 2 for the neon yellow. So what happens is we've been printing with the neon pink in combination with CMYK. So the 2 different guides that we have is, first of all, let's look at the overprint guide. So the overprint color guide takes the neon pink and prints it on top of magenta, yellow, cyan, etc. And to do that, we're creating this whole range of colors, nice, deep, bright reds, saturated colors, really nice violet colors that you can't achieve out of CMYK on their own. So this is expanding the gamut of that press. So that's the overprint guide. We also have the SCR guide. SCR stands for Source Color Removal. So in this instance, on the pink guide, we're actually taking the magenta out of the colors and replacing it with the pink. So now what we've got is some brighter range of colors. So if we actually put these 2 together, you'll see how these are more deep and saturated colors, and these are the lighter, more brighter colors. Now, for example, let's have a look down here, like an orange. So we've got the bright orange colors and also different tint percentages of these colors. And that spans chromatically throughout the color guide system. Now, every color in this system also has the CMYK and the neon percentages so that you know what to design, and a color name so you can reference that with your brands or designers. So we also have the neon yellow one. The neon yellow obviously is using the neon yellow toner. Same thing, one is an overprint guide, one is an SCR guide. So this is looking at like bright greens, colors that just simply are not achievable out of CMYK. So it's a great thing from a brand is that you can actually now specify colors on a Ricoh device that you've never been able to achieve before. And it's not about matching a Pantone color. This is not what it's about. Pantone does not work with neon colors on a digital device. It doesn't work. There's no formulation for it, which is why we've worked with Ricoh to create this color system to show what colors can be achieved off the press. The SCR guide, again, it shows a lighter, more subtle range of colors, more lime kind of greens poking in here. And it's not just about the bright, punchy colors. It's all about expanding the gamut of the press, creating more colors so designers have more color choice. They're not limited out of CMYK. So we've got nice pastel shades and we've got the deeper saturations. So there are 4 color guides, and that will give you 1,520 colors to choose from. So what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on using the pink guides, and I'm going to demonstrate how to install the Touch7 Spot color library, and also how we can then design with these colors in Illustrator, InDesign and Photoshop. And it's really very simple. Okay, so first of all, we're going to go to the Touch7 website, and if you haven't already done so, go to our members area right down at the bottom of our menu and sign up for an account. So it's free of charge. It will give you access to our palettes and also demo plugins for our other products like Touch7 Photo Neon and Touch7 Photo ECG. Once you've got your account set up, I'm just going to log back in, and you'll see that we then have, and that one. You'll see that on the right hand side we now have these icons. So Photoshop plugins, you can download our trial licenses. So Touch7 Photo Neon and Touch7 Photo ECG, they are plugins for doing image separations in Photoshop that will separate your images into neon. So do take a look at those products, they are great. Also take a look at the ECG plugin. Even though you won't have this on your Ricoh device, you can use this ECG plugin to separate orange separations and then remap them into pink. So you can actually create bright, vibrant orange images using pink toner just by using these buttons. And it's all automated, so you press a button and it pretty much does all the work for you. It works on a mathematical calculation to extract out the neon colors in the image. Okay, so going back to the members area. If we go to the next one down, color palettes, and we're going to download 2 palettes. One is the swatch palette for Photoshop, and the other one is the swatch palette for Illustrator and InDesign. Also, we do have a marketing design section, so anybody that has purchased the neon color guides or the Touch7 photo plugins will get access to all of these ready-made marketing designs. They're all done in neon. The great way to be able to learn what we do and how we do it, so you can open up a file like this discount voucher for the burgers and see how it was created, so you can learn how they're all set up. You can also print them off and use them as samples. So if you are a printer, we appreciate that printers don't usually have in-house design. So this will save you a small fortune. You know, you can print these out. You must retain the Touch7 logos and branding on though, and then print them out and use them as sales samples. So you can show your customers what can be achieved. And it's just a great way to be able to start driving new opportunities for your neon toners. And we appreciate that not all printers have both the neon pink and the neon yellow, but really you want to be showing both of them. Even if you don't print all the time with neon yellow, a designer can't choose a color unless they can see it. So by having these color guides, you really need to get these into the hands of the designers. So the concept here is that the printer can purchase these for the agencies, for the brands, and then they can sell them to those customers of their own. And that way that then your customer is then choosing colors from here, set up an artwork file, and they'll just send you a 5-color PDF file, and then you can print it out. But they have to be able to find the colors and choose the colors. Otherwise, if they don't know what they can design with, then it's like only giving them half a color system. So this is why we have both the yellow and the pink. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we've downloaded our file. So let's just go into our downloads folder. So there's two items that we downloaded. One is the touch7.aco file, that is for Photoshop, and then we have the ASC palette, which is for Illustrator InDesign. I'm going to install it now, really very simple. Just go into an applications folder, find your Illustrator and your InDesign that you want to install it into. I'm just going to open those two up. You can see we have one here and we have the other one there. So all I'm going to do is in my InDesign folder, I'm looking for the presets folder, and then I'm going to go into swatch libraries, and all I'm going to do is copy that in here. So just drag and drop that into there, and it'll probably ask you to, just make sure you put in your username and password, and in it goes. So that's the InDesign one done. And then for Illustrator, very similar thing, go into presets. This time you'll come across a language folder. If you're a UK company, for example, it'll be typically ENGB for International English. If you're an American company, it'll be ENUS. If you're French, it'll be FRFR. We have them all in here for different development work that we do, so I'm just going to go into my English one. Then go into swatches, and same sort of thing, just drag and drop that one into here. And there we go. So that's now installed the palettes. We'll also do the Photoshop one. Photoshop one is really very simple. We're going to just go to my swatches, and let me just get rid of everything. Okay, so let's just say that this is how it would normally start your in Photoshop. So you normally have all your different folders. All we're going to do is go to the flyout menu. We're going to go to import swatches, and then we're going to direct it to where we downloaded our files from. So I'm going to go to my downloads and click on the ACO file and click on open. And what that will do is it will create a Touch7 folder down here, and inside there we have our defaults for the different devices. So on a Ricoh press, the defaults are actually the colors that are in these neon pink and neon yellow. So they are actually the LAB values of the tones for the Ricoh device. Okay, so we'll come back to this in a moment, but first of all, let's work inside Illustrator. When designing in Illustrator, it's extremely simple to set up your artwork files. I'm going to demonstrate by creating two different colors, one from the overprint guide and one from the SCR guide. And it's really simple to do. So what we're going to teach you now, first of all, is how to use the appearance layer. Because what you'll find on a lot of design tutorial websites, they'll usually say create a new layer, put all the pinks onto it, and that is a really complex thing to do, because if we wanted to create a new layer here and we wanted to put this orange box here to be created out of neon pink, then we can't just put the box on that top layer, because if we do, then it will overprint and knock out all the white text. So you then have to start copying all different elements onto this other layer and color them up non-pink or zero pink. it just gets more and more complex. So using an appearance layer is a lot easier to do that. So let's demonstrate that now. Let's go to the window menu, go down to swatch libraries, go down to the Touch7 spot color palette, which you installed earlier. Now, the very first time you open that up, it will probably look like so, little small thumbnails. We recommend opening up to large list view so you can see the name, and also switch on persistent. Persistent means that if you were to quit from Illustrator now, and the next time you reopen it up, the palette will look the same and it won't go back to its default settings. Now you will notice how we have different spot colors in here, and that's because we also have color systems for other devices. So for example, if you have the Ricoh latex engine, then you'll also possibly have the orange and green on there, and that's what these spot colors are for. So we're going to focus just by printing with neon pink today. So I'm just going to tidy up my palette so you can see it a little easier. Let's get rid of that pink because we don't need that yet, because I want to show you it being added to my document. Windows I would recommend having open for doing what we're showing you today would be the appearance window, and that's what we're going to be creating appearance layers. Attributes for setting the overprinting information. Color, so we can specify the color value. Gradient, so we can blend something, and swatches. Okay, so you see we have them open down the side. So first of all, let's focus on this pink one at the bottom. So I'm just going to select the appearance layer. So this tells me I have a fill of color, and the color box here tells me what the color values are. Okay, so all I'm going to do is go to select, same fill color, just to pick up all the other pink elements. I'll also pick up that text as well. It won't normally pick up the text because there are two different types of elements. One is text, one is vector. But all I'm going to do here is click on the neon pink from our swatch palette. That will color them up pink. It will also add that pink into our document. And that's it. We've now created pink in our design. Now, if we want to create a bright orange, then we recommend using the SCR guide. Flick through here until you find a color you're choosing. Let's go with number 120 in this instance. And actually, let's go with more of an orangey color. Let's go with number 90. So again, select the orange, click on the fill layer, select same fill color. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the color values in our swatch book. So it says it needs to be 0 cyan, 0 magenta, 100 yellow, 90% neon pink. So let's put in 100% yellow. Now, if we go again in our appearance box, click the little plus sign to create a new fill layer. It's going to basically duplicate what you already had. And that one that's on the top now, we're going to create it as neon pink. We're going to put it at 90%, as our swatch book tells us here. And then we're going to go down to the bottom to this overprinting fill box from your attributes window. Now, you do need to make sure that you have overprint preview switched on in your document, because if you don't, you will not see your overprinting information and it will look like that, which is wrong. So overprinting preview, standard pre-press procedures to have that switched on so you can see how things overprint. Just to give you an idea, if you didn't have it switched on, let's just say this white text here. If I had that accidentally switched to overprint preview, you'll notice how it's disappeared because you can't see white overprinting, and it's giving you a warning down here. However, if I don't have my overprint preview switched on, it looks fine. So, golden rule, always, always, always have your overprint preview switched on when you're designing and doing pre-press work. Okay, so let's have a look now at our separation preview. Go down to separation preview. This is so you can check the separations. And you'll notice that no matter how many colors we choose, it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, or 150 of these colors from the guide, they are only ever going to separate out into CMYK plus pink. So it's only just a 5-color job. Turn off the pink, you'll see we have our CMYK. Now you notice how we haven't set this text yet, so let's go in and do that one. So it's a good handy little tool as a separation preview just to make sure you've done all your work correctly. I'm going to go in here, put a new layer on as pink, set it to 90% and overprint fill. Oops, I do it the right way around. And there we have, our file is done. I want to show you a couple of other things. We're going to be looking at this wine kind of a flyer promotional thing. So this is actually done using a wire mesh. So it's gradient mesh tools inside Illustrator. So it's not photographic, it's just all wire gradients. And this is a very, very complex file to separate. Now we do have video tutorials on the Touch7 website that will teach you how to separate these files in minutes. A really quick, easy way to do it. But just to turn off the CMYK, the pink, so you can see the CMYK channel. This is the color that's underneath it. That's what creates the CMYK proportion, And with the pink, it gives us those orange. But also, as I mentioned before, it's also about this subtle pastel colours, gently blending colours into the design. Working inside Adobe InDesign is extremely simple. We're going to create some mixed ink swatches and then apply them to some text. Now, it could also be to tint panels. It's the same process for each one. So all we're going to do is go to the window menu, go to Colour, go to Swatches, and then from the flyout menu on the side, go to New Colour Swatch. And I'm going to go down to the Touch7 Spot Colour Palette. And you need to add the pink to your document if you've not already done so. I've already got it in the document, so I don't need to add it again. Okay, so what you'll find is that you'll have a neon pink colour in there, and what we're going to do is now create some additional colours to design with. So first of all, go to the flyout menu, go to New Mixed Ink Swatch, and we're going to pick a colour. First of all, we'll do one from our SCR guide, so let's use this one, number 120. So it tells me I've got 0 cyan, 0 magenta, 80 yellow, 100 neon pink. So I need to go to my yellow, 80%, oops, and my pink at 100. Click on OK. Now let's create another colour. Let's use one from our overprinting guide. Let's go with more like a violet this time. Let's go with this one, number 676. So this tells me that we have, oops, I need a new mixed ink swatch. Cyan at 54%, magenta at 60, 0 yellow and 60 neon pink. So now I can go into my design and colour up my text. So let's have the text in just neon pink. Let's have the raw logo in this first colour, and then fabrics can be in that violet. And that's all there is to it. 3 beautiful, bright, saturated colours set across this nice black background. It's really going to lift off the design on that magazine cover. And it's only a 5-colour job. So that is how we design inside Adobe InDesign. When you're designing inside Photoshop, you need to think a little bit more creatively about how you set your files up. So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually create a colour from the overprint guide, the Touch7 pink one, and we're going to colour up this red splodge here behind the back of the word discount. Just to show you how this file is currently set up, we have a pink channel on there. We've actually done an image separation for the burger. You don't normally need to do that. We wouldn't normally recommend you do that because you're really kind of like wasting a little bit of the pink toner for something that's not really needed. We would normally recommend have it in CMYK and let all the background pop, but we just wanted to show you what you could do if you use image separation tools to separate a pink through the image. But today we're just going to focus on this discount panel here. To set up a spot color channel, it is really very simple. I'm going to demonstrate that now. So go to the flyout menu in your channels, new spot channel, and it's going to come up with its default name, whatever you've used last. So I'm going to go to my swatches window. So window menu, go down to swatches, and you'll see down at the bottom there's the folder that we loaded in last time for the earlier part of this demonstration. So you're going to be in the defaults, and if I click over any one of these colors, you'll see that this spot channel will take the name and the color. So these colors that are set in these two here are actually the Ricoh LAB values for the pink and yellow, so these are the only ones you need to use. Okay, so we're going to do a new pink or neon pink, and you'll see that we now have a neon pink channel. And if I wanted to create something on there, I would need to fill that area with black, not pink. And that's because when you're working on a spot channel is normally for putting like a spot ink down onto it. And it goes back to the traditional days of printing with ink on a physical printing plate. So a solid area means 100% of the ink will stick to it. So just in your foreground background color picker, we're just going to reset those to black and white. I'm going to fill that rectangular area with black. Now it sounds strange, but that will actually mean that 100% black is 100% of the ink. So you'll see we've got the pink. And if I did another box and this time did it at 50%, we'll get 50% pink. So just to be aware that when you're working on spot channels, you'll be filling it with black. You're not going to fill it with a foreground color, you're going to fill it with black. Okay. And If you're working on layers, that's where it gets a bit more complicated because you have all these different color layers. And that's what we need to do now, is set up our artwork file for that red color. So let's find something. Let's use this one here, number 550. So we're going to be using 100% magenta, 40 yellow, 100% pink. So I'm going to make a selection of that little red block here on that layer. I'm going to go to my foreground and background color picker. I need to type in my percentages. So that's 0 cyan, I need 100 magenta, 40% of the yellow. Click on OK. So I can now fill that area with the foreground color this time, because we're working on the CMYK layers. So that's just the CMYK component. So if we now go onto our spot channel, so turn off the CMYK, select the neon pink channel. This time we're going to fill that area with 100% black. Oops. So we get 100% pink. But what you have to be aware of is that Photoshop uses layers. So you've got to be mindful that when you're setting your file up, you have to basically do selections and minus selections. So to do that, we're just going to actually go and undo what we've just done. We're going to take our look at the layers that we want to be working with. In this case, we want one for voucher, discount, and this layer 10 copy file here. So I'm holding down my command key and the option on a Mac. It would be control and option if you're on a PC. And you'll now see that my little cursor, when I put it over the layer, gets a minus symbol. It means basically deselect, so select something off it. So I can then shift click each one of these off. So I'm now only selecting that red area. Now if I go onto my channel and fill it with 100% black, we get 100% pink. If you do get any contamination coming through like this, in that back of the green area, again, we can just make a selection of something and just delete it to white. So that's all you have to do. It's just a little bit more tricky in Photoshop because of the way it works with layers, but you just have to remember you have to have a layer with the color, and then you have to have a layer for your spot channel. And turn one off and turn one off. So that's how we design inside Photoshop. Really simple if you know what you're doing in Photoshop. But again, if you have any questions or anybody gets stuck, you can always reach out for assistance. Okay, thank you.